Hello, dear friends, and welcome back to HeartTouch Stories, where we bring you tales that move the soul, stir the heart, and remind us of the power of kindness and love. Today, I want to ask you a question. How far would you go to save the one you love? Would you sacrifice your comfort, your childhood, even your dreams, just to see them smile again? Stay with me until the end, because the story of the girl who sold flowers for medicine is not just about sacrifice, it is about hope, courage, and the incredible strength of a child's love. On the edge of a crowded city street, among the noise of honking cars and rushing footsteps, stood a little girl named Lila. She was only 10 years old, with hair tied back in a messy braid and eyes that carried more worry than joy. In her tiny hands, she clutched a basket filled with small bouquets of flowers. They weren't perfect roses or expensive lily. They were simple wildflowers, picked from fields, tied together with old ribbons, yet arranged with care. Every morning, before the sun rose too high, Lila would stand by the corner of the marketplace. She held out her flowers to strangers, calling softly, "Fresh flowers, please buy some flowers." To most people, she was invisible. Some brushed past her. Some looked at her with pity. Others pretended not to see her at all, but she never stopped. Because behind every flower she sold, there was a reason. Lila's mother was sick, so sick that she could barely rise from bed. The doctors said medicine could help her, but the medicine cost money. Money that Lila's family did not have. Her father had left years ago, leaving only debts behind. Her neighbors were kind, but poor themselves. So it was little Lila who decided to take responsibility. She couldn't work in a factory. She couldn't take a real job, but she had seen people buy flowers. She had noticed how flowers could bring a smile, how they could brighten a tired soul. And so, she picked them each day, arranged them carefully, and went out into the world, hoping each coin she earned could buy her mother one more day of health. The city was harsh. Some laughed at her, saying, "Why waste money on weeds?" Others ignored her completely. But sometimes, just sometimes, a kind hand would reach out. A woman on her way home from work would buy a bunch for her lonely table. An old man would smile and give her extra coins, saying, "Keep the change." Each night, Layla returned home and placed the coins on the wooden table by her mother's bed. Her mother would smile weakly and whisper, "You're my little flower." But the truth was painful. No matter how many flowers Lila sold, it was never enough. The medicine was expensive. The days were growing shorter. And then, one evening, as she sat beside her mother, Lila asked softly, "Mama, will you get better if I sell enough flowers?" Her mother touched her cheek, her hand trembling. "You already make me better, my love. Your heart is stronger than any medicine." Tears filled Lila's eyes, but she nodded. She had no choice. She had to keep going. The next morning, something unexpected happened. A man in a gray suit stopped before her stall. He looked tired, with heavy eyes and a frown that seemed permanent. Lila offered him a bunch of flowers with her usual quiet voice. The man hesitated, then asked, "Why do you sell these flowers, little one?" Lila lowered her eyes. "To buy medicine for my mother." For the first time in many days, the man's heart stirred. He bought every flower in her basket, paid her more than she could count, and walked away without taking a single bouquet. The following day, he returned. He didn't just buy her flowers, he brought medicine. He had gone to the pharmacy himself and quietly placed it in her small hands. Lila's mother wept when she saw it. She pressed her hands together and whispered blessings for the stranger she had never met. The man kept coming back, not always with medicine, but always with kindness. Sometimes he sat and listened to Lila talk. Sometimes he simply bought flowers and left them at her door. In time, Lila's mother grew stronger, not fully healed, but able to rise to smile, to hold her daughter again without pain. And all because a little girl, with nothing but flowers in her hands and love in her heart, refused to give up. But let me ask you, was this really just about medicine? Or was it about something far greater? The story of Lila teaches us that love is not measured by what we have, but by what we are willing to give. She had no money, no power, no security. Yet she gave everything she could, her time, her energy, her hope, just to save her mother. And in doing so, she touched the heart of a stranger, awakening compassion where there had been only emptiness. Sometimes, the smallest acts of sacrifice become the greatest acts of love. Sometimes, the weakest hands carry the strongest hearts. And sometimes, it only takes a child's determination to remind us all what truly matters. Thank you for listening to this story on HeartTouch Stories. If Lila's courage touched your heart today, please share this video with someone who might need hope. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join our growing family, where stories of kindness and love come alive each week. Until we meet again, may your days be filled with compassion, and may you always find the courage to be someone's light in the dark. Goodbye, dear friends, and remember you are loved.